Sir, Marine Raider Support Group, Marine Corps Forces, United States Operations Command. Colonel Duke.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful day to be together. I feel that I'm the one that's honored to be here. This is a distinct privilege, and it's something I will take with me for the rest of my life. The warm welcome I've received here. I was telling someone earlier, you heard that I hail from the state of Arkansas. I wasn't sure I had a visa to get north of the Mason-Dixon line. And this last 48 hours is the longest time I've spent in the state of New Jersey, and I tell you, it's two of the finest days of my life. So thank you very much for that. What a wonderful day to be together with all of you for this event. I am humbled and I'm thankful to be with you, and I'm so deeply appreciative for all that you do to celebrate the service and sacrifice of Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone. I bring you greetings from General Joe Dunford, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and Sergeant Major Green, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. And on their behalf, I would like to thank John Pacifico and the John Basilone Parade Committee members, the donors and sponsors and civic organizations, and Mayor Liptak, and the City Council of Raritan, the fine people of Raritan, as well as today's parade participants who made all this possible and who make it possible year after year. This truly is hometown America at its finest, and your Marine Corps salutes you. On behalf of Marines everywhere, on behalf of Marines everywhere, and particularly those Marines who are in action this hour against the nation's foes, and those Marines who are abroad, afloat with the U.S. Navy or ashore, standing guard as America's force and readiness, I want to thank you for your dedication, your perseverance, and your faithfulness to the memory of Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone and his actions in battles which so perfectly capture the fighting spirit of the United States Marine Corps. As year after year, you continue to honor John Basilone, the native son who became a national hero, you also make no small contribution to the maintenance of that same fighting spirit that animated him and his fellow American warriors, many of whom are with us today, during that great World War. You keep before all Americans the truth and realization that for such a nation of free people to continue and to thrive, some, like John, must set aside comfort and take on the warrior's discipline to ensure that the nation remains. You do the nation a service by remembering. You encourage our Corps by showing the world that the people of America yet cherish their liberty and remain willing to pay the cost to keep our nation free. So thank you. Reasons for holding such confidence in America's ability and willpower have not always been so abundant. Prior to the Battle of Guadalcanal, the world had reason to question American resolve. A noted historian and author has said, in commenting on the battle there, where Gunny Basilone distinguished himself in combat, he said, quote, the issue of whether the Americans could prevail in adversity would be settled at Guadalcanal. John Basilone epitomized the American response to this question. An adventurous, strong, and scrappy young man from a hardworking family of modest means makes the conscious choice to leave the comforts of home and family to take on the cloth of the warrior and to face an implacable and fanatical enemy. His courage and tenacity serve as example not only for us who wear the uniform, but also to you who send us your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your husbands and wives to serve in our ranks. Many of you have read Gunny Basilone's citations, and some of you may have mastered the facts of his historical actions in battle. But today I call your attention to a particular aspect of John Basilone's courage that can easily be overlooked, as it took place far from the spotlight of newsreel cameras and newspaper headlines. Gunny Basilone made the decision to return to combat with a full and fresh knowledge of the hardships that he would face once again. This decision, taken while in the comforts of family and friends and the safety of home, is not a valley between two heroic peaks of distinction at Guadalcanal and at Iwo Jima. Rather, it is part and parcel of one grand mountain range that forms the heights of courage. A warrior may distinguish himself in the day of battle in one single action, and that is certainly honorable and laudable. I would offer to you that John's indomitable spirit and tenacity is found in the same measure and the same resolve in his commitment to return to the battlefield as often as was required to achieve victory. This is a decision he made in quiet in the streets of this town, but it is no less laudable. I also believe that you can see that same spirit. In fact, I've seen it in the face of our warriors today who've returned time and time again to the fray. They have learned that courage from John and the generations of warriors who've come before them, and you support the passing of this spirit from generation to generation by your presence here today. Just as in Gunny Basilone's day, our nation watches now as a savage and brutal force, as implacable and fanatical as the Imperial Japanese, if not more so, sweeps rapidly across parts of our globe with seemingly unstoppable momentum. We watch as regional hegemons assert and exercise punitive influence over their neighbors and our friends and allies. And as we watch, some may be prone to wonder if Americans retain the capacity to prevail in adversity today. This event, so faithfully executed for 34 years, wonderfully demonstrates that this unconquerable spirit yet lives in our land. Your commitment shows that America still possesses the indomitable spirit to bravely face these and other threats, and facing them to prevail. For although this day is full of celebration and possesses quite a festive air, what you are doing here is also an act of vigilance and the nurture of the civic virtues that victory requires. Consider this gathering of old and young, of grandparents, parents, and children. Think of how we are teaching each other and the rising generation, by and through the example of John Basilone, the value of American liberty and the type of commitment and perseverance required to maintain it. This is truly a wonderful thing. So look around you and see the answer to the question. Where our liberties are concerned, America still has the ability and willingness to prevail in adversity. And I am confident that as long as we continue to remember the heroes of our past, like John, and pass on the love of liberty and civic responsibility and the spirit of service to our children, America will prevail, and its will to prevail will never wane. So just as we honor Gunnery Sergeant Basilone with this event today, so let us honor him by recommitting ourselves to the Republic for which he gave his life. May God bless you all, and may he bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Okay, listen,